Welcome to First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis, the birthplace of congregational humanism. We carry on that tradition of free thought today, dedicated to promoting a free search for truth, meaning, and justice. Our web address is firstunitarian.org. Thank you for joining us.
Well, good morning. Hello. We are here with you today. Thanks for being at First Unitarian Society of Minneapolis. My name is Mike Fossich. I'm the music director here. And we have an intergenerational service coming up with some varied music and some different kinds of things that'll be happening. So it'll be a fun service. As you can see, we have some guest musicians today. So we have, this is a trio I play with often, and we have Chris Heppola on the drums back there. Hey, Chris. And Josh Gronowski on the bass. So we'll be doing some kind of jazz trio stuff. Here come the kids, yay! So we'll be doing one piece by Vince Guaraldi, who is the composer for all the Peanuts stuff. We're in the month of resilience, and even though Charlie Brown has somewhat of a defeatist attitude, I still see him as a character who is resilient and just keeps trying. He just keeps, bless his heart. So we're going to do a piece, just a fun one called Baseball Theme, which is kind of a play on Take Me Out to the Ball Game, but it's a fun tune. And then we'll be doing a Mitski cover in the middle as something more contemporary. She's one of my favorite singer-songwriters and beautiful composer. And then we're going to close out with a tune by Cannibal Adderley, called Things Are Getting Better, which it's really hard to say those words, things are getting better right now. However, I do feel like having that mindset of believing things are getting better is always necessary to, work towards a brighter future. You got to believe it's possible. You got to believe it's possible. So we're going to believe that things are getting better with our final tune. But we're going to start out here with the fun one called Baseball Theme by Vince Guaraldi.
Well, good morning and welcome to First Unitarian Society on this crispy Sunday morning in Minneapolis, on this day when we gather in multi-generational community to sing and reflect and act together. First Unitarian Society is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association of Congregations, and I'm Reverend Jullan Stoneberg, your interim minister. I use she, her pronouns. As we begin, we take intentional time to acknowledge with gratitude that those of us who are relative newcomers here are privileged to live and work and play on the past and current and future homelands of the Dakota, Oyate, and other First Peoples. We know that there's a lot to unpack and reckon with in our shared history, but for today, let's at least take wisdom from these people who remind us that no one is illegal on stolen land. If you are here for the first time, well, I imagine that you're here because you feel a need to be in community. We hope you find that here. You're invited to join us for our weekly mini meal in the lower assembly hall after this service. And if you want to get on our list for regular updates, just stop by the office to receive our newsletter or sign one of the clipboards that are on the welcome tables. And feel free to join us anyway, anytime that works for you. As I said, today is a multi-generational assembly, which we hold once a month, which allows us some precious time to be together across all ages. Today's assembly is built around a story, the story of the hugging tree, and there will be ways for everyone to actively participate. As always, there is a dedicated space for families and kids, which today is up front, so that kids can see and participate easily. And childcare is available as usual for the littles, if you so choose. And that's down the hall to the left as you exit this space. We'll be sharing in an activity in a little while, which involves perhaps having a teal hymnal and a writing instrument. You'll find that there are note cards tucked inside of those songbooks. Those of you who are online, I hope you maybe can find a blank note card or at least a place to make a note to yourself. I'm sure there are, as always, lots of folks with us online, as there are every week. So please take a moment to wrap them in the circle of your heart and give them a wave. They need us too, and we need them, and they're right behind that camera. So now I invite you to turn to one another in greeting, especially reaching out to someone you don't know yet. There'll be a QR code on the screen to access an order of service. And again, pick up a teal songbook and a writing instrument. So welcome all. That was a lot to get done in just a moment, wasn't it? There'll be time to get a note card and a book later if you need to. Our theme for the month of February is embracing resilience, which is definitely much needed in these times. Our opening words by Kimberly Ann Tomzak Carlson speak to us of roots, deep roots that can keep us strong and resilient. And it invites you to imagine yourself as having roots of resilience. And for those of you who might want to actually embody these words, which is something we're going to be doing kind of throughout the service today. So feel the gravity of the earth holding you in place. Wiggle your toes as if they were roots. Roots connecting you to the earth, lending you strength. And gently sway in the wind, turning your body like a trunk of a tree. Leaning this way and that, bending as the air pushes and pulls. What surrounds you may sway you, make you bend and feel unbalanced. But wiggle your toes. Know that your roots can hold you as you grow and learn. A tree is nourished by the soil and water. You are nourished by food the earth grows and the water it provides. You are cared for and loved by many people. So breathe deeply. Still yourself. Know that your roots are strong, and know that down deep the roots of all of us are connected, holding us steady. And wiggle your roots. And just feel how all of our roots are wiggling together. It is good to be together. One thing that supports our roots and our resilience is to light our chalice each time we gather, knowing that its light, the light of truth, the fire of commitment, and the warmth are always available to us. As Mario comes to light the chalice here, I invite those of you at home to light a chalice where you are, maybe a candle, maybe your phone, for sure in your heart. And I invite you all to read the words of Michelle Collins with me, "The work that takes time." We kindle this light for the work that takes time, the seeds unseen rooting, the tides patient carving, the small turning of heart toward open ground. We look towards what is slow and true, the steady flame that sustains our days. Our chalice flame is lit in our hearts and in this space and wherever we're gathered. May its light give us the resolve to continue to resist authoritarianism and to fight for freedom with love in our hearts. And let's speak our congregational covenant together. Love is the spirit of this place, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So we're going to sing now. Today it's all about roots and hugs, and so perfect song. This is a perfect song about that. It's Sarah Pirtle's "My Roots Go Down." It's a great song to add motions to, so please feel free to put the words into actions that work for you. The tune is pretty simple. I think you're going to catch on. We'll start with the chorus, so please rise in body and or spirit. our roots go down. Now it's time for a story about roots, and Zola's going to come help. So Zola, let's see, you want the microphone, I think. Here you go.
Testing. Good morning. That means it's working. You can hear me and you said it back to me. Hi, everybody. My name is Zola Rosenfeld. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the education director here at FUS. Welcome to our monthly intergenerational assembly. Usually all of us are off. Yeah, woo, I heard that. Usually we're all off doing our independent, wonderful endeavors apart from you all up here, but this month we are here together and we're going to try a little something new with a story where I'm not going to be reading it and the kids won't be reading it. We will be interpreting it for you. And you may see I have a variety of accoutrements here, including dancing ribbons and dancing scarves, and you may see I brought my own as well from home. So I'm going to be standing up here. There's two parts to the story, as the first part is read and the second part later. There will be sound effects and there's lots of imagery of nature and the ocean and the wind and the tree growing. We did our little warm up for that with that song just now. So anyone who would like to, I'm going to be standing up here and full forcing it and going all out and doing all the movements. And any kids who would like, and I have no shame, and any kids who would like to, please feel free. You guys can come up right up here. Some of you already got your special ribbons. Otherwise, I have them all here. Come on up and do it with me. And I'm excited to see what sound effects Jacob picked out. This is going to be a really fun experiment. I'm excited for this. All right, I'm putting the microphone down now, but everybody who wants to, come on up.
So our story is called The Hugging Tree, and it was written by Jill Nymark, and it was illustrated by Nicole Wong. So, on a bleak and lonely rock by a vast and mighty sea grew a lonely little tree where no tree should ever be. Perhaps she blew there. Maybe she blew there in the wind. How she got there, no one knew. She sprouted stems and little leaves, as any tiny seed will do. The tree said, "There's hardly any dirt for me, no forest breeze, no bees, no birds, but I will do the best I can to make this rock my home." Her tiny roots pushed night and day, and bit by bit, the rock gave way. A smidge, an inch, a foot, then two. She grew and grew and grew and grew. The ocean hugged the rocky shore. "I like you near me, little tree," the ocean said. "Let's keep each other company." Soft gold sunbeams kissed her crown, warm as honey pouring down. And at night she raised her branches high to greet the moon up in the sky. At night, there was the moon who said, "I wax and wane, I ebb and flow, I cycle through from full to thin, and when I'm done, I start again. That's how life is, you know." One summer noon, a pair of loons landed on her canopy. "A pretty tree," said the loon, "a sparkling sea. Shall we make this place our home and raise our baby chicks right here?" And the little tree warmed up with pride. She spread her branches high and wide. "I'll be your home," she replied, "and can you tell me if you've seen the forest where my family grew?" The loon said, "We've built our nest in trees like you quite far from here, and so you blew many nights and many days. You blew on the wind, just like we do." So the loons built their nest, they laid their eggs, and soon 2 baby chicks were born. And summer passed, autumn too. The little tree turned red and gold. The winter came with howling winds and cutting cold and broke her boughs. Oh. The loons flew south. The sea was all ice, the rock was all snow, the moon was lost in thunderclouds. "Mighty cliff," the tree said, "hold me tight, don't let me blow away." The cliff said, "Little tree, with all my might, I will hold you close night and day. Storms will come and storms will go. At last the sun melted the snow, but now the tree could not grow. The storm had torn out her roots." The moon gazed down and softly said, "Sometimes we lose our way, but with some help, we start again. That's how life is, you know." And so the tree was a bit lost about what to do without roots. We're going to come back to the story a bit later to see what happens, okay? They can just be there.
Okay, they're gonna be here.
Yeah, it's fine.
They're gonna stay there.
So let's just reflect for a few moments about this little tree. The story began on a bleak and lonely rock by a vast and mighty sea grew a lonely little tree where no tree should ever be. I've been in a place like that, haven't you? Out on the edge, surrounded by all that seems bleak and gray, feeling lonely, just it can be an all too familiar place, I think. But then the story asks, how the heck did that little tree get there? To a place where no tree could be expected to exist, at least not in any reliable way. And I would guess that each of us has felt something of this in the past months. How the heck did we get here? To this place where any sense of shared values, things like human kindness and the worth of each life, they've been shattered. Where trust that our leaders, at least some of them, have a moral compass is a thing of the past. Where assumed foundations for this country, things like democracy and justice, they've just fallen away. So let us acknowledge that not everyone has experienced existing in a bubble of safety where human rights are protected or where the government is thought to generally do the right thing. And perhaps this is a moment of collective eye-opening to what has been real for many people for hundreds of years. I recently read an article by Scott Nakagawa in the Anti-Authoritarian Playbook about why we didn't see this coming, or at least see this coming sooner. And one reason, I think, is that we sure could have paid more attention to our black and brown and differently abled and neurodiverse and immigrant neighbors. We weren't really paying attention. And we were blown by a cruel wind to an unknown world. But here we are. So now what? You know, the seed that blew to the cliff by the sea put down its roots and sprouted leaves as any seed would try to do, and then it made friends with its community. The sea, the wind, the sun, the moon, and it did its best to make a life, even when it may have felt that it wasn't quite living the life it was supposed to, even when it longed to be among its own kind in a forest somewhere quiet and away from the storm. But when the storms came, the cliff did its best to hold on to the little tree, and the moon was there to comfort it. Sometimes we lose our way, but with some help we start again. That's how life is, you know. And perhaps that's where we are now, having been tossed by storms and winter, even ice, and we are preparing ourselves to start again. But we need a little help, right? We do it with a little help. A community is strong because of its diversity and its connections. It's been years since I read Andrew Zolli and Anne-Marie Healy's book on resilience, but what I remember that they said is that resilience isn't about avoiding change, but about staying true to our purpose and our values, while at the same time being willing to adapt and cooperate. The authors of that book drew examples from nature, as we are doing from our story, to show us how connectivity, especially across difference, helps us to adapt and transform even in the face of storms. As my colleague Jullan Jamaica Soto has said, all of us need all of us to make it. We need all of us to survive. In a little bit, we're going to return to our story.
Good morning. The First Unitarian Society is a congregational humanist community. We are here for each other, our neighbors, and our planet, and one manifestation of that is our caring team. My name is John Walsh, and I'm a member of that team. If at any time there's something happening in your life that you'd like to share with the care team or with this community, or if you need some support or would like a visit, please call the FUS office, send a note using the QR code on the screen, or click on the link that's provided in the Friday update newsletter. We need one another. It is with great sadness that we let you know that Robin Garrett died on Wednesday after an all too brief struggle with cancer. Robin joined FUS about 4 years ago and had been a member of other UU congregations around the country. He was currently serving on our board of trustees. Robin donated his body to science, so there will be some kind of memorial at the U of M, and likely a celebration of life and 60th birthday party for him at FUS in September. We'll share further details as they're available. We also received notice this week from Polly Kellogg that Caroline Gilbert, who was in her 90s, passed away on January 27th. You may remember her as someone who sang with our chalice choir. The celebration of life will be here at FUS on March 29th at 3 p.m. in the lower assembly hall. Our condolences to Polly and to all in Caroline's family of friends. Jan Schofield fell last Monday and is unable to get around very well. We send you our love, Jan, and wishes for a quick healing. UU in Maryland has been in touch to let us know that she's moving to Minneapolis in a couple of weeks and would like to attend FUS. She will be living close to Abbott Hospital and is looking forward to someone's who could provide rides here on Sundays. If you could do that regularly or even occasionally, please speak to Rev Jullan or Suzanne. It would be lovely to be able to welcome her to FUS this way. And we'd also like to extend a happy birthday to Mibbs Pearson, a longtime FUS member who turned 94 yesterday. I invite you now to speak into this space the names of those places and people that you are holding in your heart. Let's take some quiet time together to breathe, to connect with our shared humanity, to send out love to those around us, to feel the solid earth beneath us, and to remember that we are not alone. Breathe in and breathe out. In the silence, may you feel all the love that surrounds us, and may all those we love and all our neighbors and all beings everywhere be at peace. A moment of silence.
As the moon said, sometimes we lose our way, but with help we start again. That's just how life is, you know. We teach each other how to care through the way we live, and we learn to care through the examples set by others, which is a relationship expressed beautifully in this song. Please rise in body and our spirit to sing number 1012, When I Am Frightened. seated.
Human rituals have a way of connecting us to what matters. Becky Brooks, a UU educator, tells of a time following the Orlando nightclub shooting when a simple human ritual provided just the loving support that was needed. It's called Do the Next Thing with Love. By the time karate class rolled around Monday evening, I was still dazed. The day before, June 12, 2016, my kids wanted to know why we parents were so sad. I told them I was crying for a really big group of people who had died in the night. 50 people. We got out their blocks to count and see what 50 looked like. We all agreed 50 was an awful lot. I set one block aside and explained that one person had killed all the others with a gun. Why? Who were they, the kids wanted to know. They're like us, I said, and different too. There were Latinx, like your aunts and cousins, queer, like your parents, black, like our neighbors, Muslim, like your uncle, trans, like some of our friends. They were moms and dads and parents and sons and daughters and beloved adult children, siblings, partners, and friends. I asked if they wanted to send good wishes to the people who died. My son slid the separated block over to join the others. Yes, let's send good wishes, they said. So we did. The next day, I wasn't surprised when the mom of one of my daughter's friends plopped down on the bench next to me during karate. Julia and her husband were always at the dojo with their son. But I was surprised when she handed me a small paper plate heaped high with mini muffins and secured with cling wrap. I laughed for the first time in nearly 2 days. Thanks, what's this for? Julia's eyes were red. I didn't know what else to do, she said. What do we do in the face of evil? Anything, everything. Pray, protest, bake, hug, grieve, wail, laugh, explain, linger, research, fight, cry. What we absolutely must not do is ignore it. On my way to the car, my daughter asked, "Why did Miss Julia make us muffins?" "Because she loves us," I explained, "just the way we are." Love is the most important thing, she affirmed. I want to keep my hands busy with kindness when I just don't know what to do all the small things, each a reminder that the big love is built from pixels and pebbles. When you don't know what to do next, do the next thing with love.
So we're going to return to our story. So those who want to participate of any age can come and join in. Once again, as I said, there'll be ways for you to participate with movement, and if you'd like, you can come to the front or stay where you are. As you'll remember, when we left our little tree, it had lost its roots in a storm, and the cliff was trying to hold the little tree tight, and the sun had come out, and the tree did not know if it could ever grow again. And so then, this is what happened. Soon, a small boy came running by, skipping stones into the sea. And when he saw the little tree, he stopped and stared. He touched the tiny leaves, he felt the ragged roots, and he shook his head. And he said, "I can bring you just what you need. I can help you, little tree." Now, a tree can't hug a boy. It has no hands or arms, but it can hug you with its heart, and that is just as deep and warm. And every day the boy came back carrying a full backpack. And from the pack he took a tin and he poured out rich brown earth. And he packed the roots and he tucked them in. And he planted flowers around the tree. And he made a path there for all to see. And said, now everyone will know that even on a granite cliff, a little tree can grow. And then he went to sleep. And he dreamed all the things that little boys dream of. Now, every day, new people stop to rest beneath the little tree and dream the things we all dream of. To love, to share, to give, to grow just where we are. And to this very day they come. For on a splendid sunny rock by a warm and bright blue sea, a great big hugging tree grows just where she was meant to be. The end. So this would be a really great time to give yourself and maybe someone around you a great big hug. Okay, thank you. Thanks for adding all that movement. So I don't know, did you expect the story to turn out that way? Now I suppose because it's a picture book, the ending could be expected to be positive and upbeat. But really, it would have been just as easy to imagine this lonely tree out there dying on that cliff by the sea without nourishment and connections it needed to survive, let alone to thrive. What I love about this story for today is it's a vehicle that offers us something. It offers us a way into something we might have overlooked. You see, after we've been through something, we have to spend a bit of time debriefing in order to create meaning and perspective. Though, of course, we're never really through something, not completely. And I know we're not through this now. But still, taking a breath to reflect on what has been can really influence our choices in the future, can inform us better about what to do. What would we do differently? What would we be more intentional about? What did we learn that we want to keep? What would we not repeat? As I said, the story could have ended differently, but for the efforts of that tree's community. We've been told that one of the reasons we were able to organize and respond to Metro Surge as well as we did is because of everything that this city's been through in the past years. The Twin Cities has exemplified that bit of wisdom that says that we come to every moment with everything that's led up to that moment. And we're the ones that we've been waiting for. So what is it that we see that feels true about the last couple of months? I'm going to name a few things, but I have to say that I'm limited only by what I can see, what time I have to talk to you today. And I encourage you to name some of those truths for yourself because it's really important to intentionally reflect on what those things mean for you, where you find meaning. As for me, I see the importance of connections. You know, those among us who are really connected to immigrant organizations or marginalized communities or their local police or their representatives, they were better equipped to weather the storm. And they led the way for others to connect and learn and to act. And I see how our compassion was awakened by witness. by being willing to open our eyes, to see what we saw and to see it with our own eyes. And I see how that sent us out into the streets with a courage I think we didn't know we had. How when we haven't known what to do, we've tried to do the next thing with love. And I see how we have supported one another in nonviolence and in acting with kindness. And I see how our frontline organizations and schools set aside nearly everything else in service of the moment, calling on allies to show up and help. And I see how people did that and are doing that. They're doing everything possible, and we're taking turns. We're giving each other breaks, allowing each other to have a chance to recover, to heal. And I see how people make choices, have made important choices about how to use their time and their resources in new and unforeseen ways. And I see how strong we are together. I see how there's nothing like collective effort and passion to build this resilience in us that's really unbreakable. We turned our attention toward the little tree that was struggling. We fed it and we watered it with protests and vigils and songs so that it all had a chance to keep going. And perhaps we've learned that going it alone is never a great idea. That just as when we need something, and others show up for us, we also must show up when there's a need for us to be the ones showing up. And that we're all better when everyone has what they need to survive. This work isn't over. And what I hope is that we have learned how to be more selfless, more focused on what matters, so that we can love and share and give and dare to grow just as we are, so that we can coexist in an open-hearted and open-minded community where we freely give of ourselves. And in this way, I think we build this kind of communal resilience to face whatever is to come. Together, we can do this because we already know how to do it, because we're going to keep doing it, and we will. So we're going to just take a moment to give with some open hearts. Many of our immigrant neighbors have been blown here on winds, I think, and recently found themselves in a place where it was difficult to exist. I expect you know that there are hundreds, maybe thousands of families in the Twin Cities and around the state who are not leaving their homes, even to go grocery shopping, that food banks and schools and other organizations have stepped up to get groceries delivered to these homes, and that it's up to us to offer them the nourishment they need. Because feeling the support of others is key to building resilience. Just like all of the love notes that we've received from other congregations, we're going to write notes today to include in grocery boxes that are going out to families at Emerson and Anderson schools. Now, I think most of you have already picked up a teal book, but if not, go get one. Inside each one, you'll find a blank note card. And for those of you in the balcony, they're in the teal books that are stacked on the center pew. There are extras on the high top tables, along with pens and markers. For folks joining us online, I hope that you can find a note card or some other way to send a message of hope and support to someone who needs it. Please write whatever is in your heart. There will be some suggested messages. There are some suggested messages on the table, and these will also be up on the screen. You can write notes in English or English and Spanish, but preferably not just Spanish, because not all of the families are Spanish speakers. So as music plays, please write a note to a family. A little bit of love they can feel when they open their grocery boxes. We'll just take a few minutes for this. There'll also be a table downstairs afterwards where you can take your note card with you or do more. You can decorate it down there with other supplies and stickers and things. But for now, we'll just write a note here. If you want to put something on the outside of the envelope, maybe you'll just put "for our friends" or "hello." You've got this. So Mike and friends will play for us as we write these notes of love and support. again, you can finish up your note and add some decorations at a table downstairs. Or if you're finished, you can put your note in the offering baskets when they come around soon. Thank you so much for these hugs you're sending out to support our neighbors. So let's sing. We Shall Not Be Moved has its roots in the African American spiritual tradition, dating back to the early 19th century. It was likely originally sung at revivalist camp meetings, but Pete Seeger also wrote a version that was used in labor and protest marches. And today we're using verses used more recently in the struggle for collective liberation. So please rise in body and or spirit to sing. Again, we'll start with the chorus.
Good morning. We're into the home stretch of the pledge drive. Yes, as of Friday morning, we've received a total of 56 pledges to the tune of $209,000. The stewardship team is especially grateful to the 6 family units who did not make a pledge last year but did this year. Also of note is that half the pledgers increased their amount this year. I can tell you with 100% certainty these numbers are a bit out of date because I made my pledge last night after press time. And I can also attest that the process is quite easy. The best part is, if you're not changing your method of payment, you don't even need to provide it. The staff here are serious about data security. So where does that leave us? We have 160 pledge units in the congregation. This means we still haven't heard from about 2/3 of you. Even if your pledge won't change next year, the accountants still need to know that it'll continue unaltered. We're reaching the final countdown, friends. Can't you tell? My spiel's running out of punchlines. I need help now. Please make your pledges before March 3rd. The stewardship team and the rest of the congregation appreciate your generosity. Oh, and my daughter's selling Girl Scout cookies during the mini meal. Please join us after assembly for food, company, and boxes of highly addictive sweet treats.
Hello, my name is Karen Rowell. My pronouns are she and her, and I'm a member of the Foundation Board of Directors as well as several other committees. First Unitarian is a free, independent, and self-governing humanist community. We are the proud birthplace of congregational humanism. Our mission is to foster a free search for knowledge and meaning, to strive for justice, and to serve one another, the Twin Cities, and beyond. There are many, many demands on our attention and on our money right now, including Girl Scout cookies, yes. And we are all discerning about how we can best support all those things that matter to us, from the day-to-day survival of our neighbors to the ongoing existence of this community. Your gifts allow us to continue to support each other as we strive for justice through these times and into the future. We are grateful for whatever you can give. The baskets will be passed in a moment, or you can give online. The QR code on the screen will take you to our online giving form, or you can go directly to our website, firstunitarian.org, and designate how you'd like your donation credited. And of course, you can always stop by the office or mail in your donation. As the baskets are passed, we invite you to give generously and joyfully as you are willing and able. Again, if you finished a note card, you can put that in the baskets as well. Thank you.
So in February and continuing through March, we are highlighting our immediate response team to lift up the many possibilities to engage and contribute at this critical time in our city. Next Sunday, March 1st, we are holding a fresh fruit drive. Please bring citrus fruit. We will also be packing grocery boxes after the assembly. And if you have any extra reusable grocery bags to donate to this effort, they'd be much appreciated. That team also invites you to fill out a community support interest form. If you haven't done this already, you can pick one up in the foyer. The team will respond to you with the information and connections that whatever you've requested, and will continue to work with you so that you can get and remain engaged. Last month's highlighted group was Active Voices, and they are working hard to identify the big issues in this new legislative session. They need your help, so if you're looking for a way to make your voice heard, we invite you to join our Active Voices team, and you can help them in many ways. So please see Adele Hansen or Marianne Lundquist after the service. If you want to raise your hands, there's Marianne, there's Adele over there. Please see them if you'd like to join that effort.
There's going to be a Zoom meeting for organizational purposes tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. So if you're interested, get with Adele or me so that we can get you involved.
Yeah, let me repeat that there's a meeting on Zoom tomorrow night at 7. for this team. So talk to them today and they'll get you the link for tomorrow night. That'd be great. Now we have a video about an upcoming event.
It's only February, but you know that spring is on the way. The Seasonal Celebrations team is busy preparing for our intergenerational Spring Equinox Assembly to be held on March 22nd. And we need people to be quarter readers, poetry readers, and characters in our Readers Theater skit. And the beauty is, we need all ages. So whether you're in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, or consider yourself a lifelong reader, we have a part for you. If you love getting on stage, emoting to your heart's desire, or have always wanted to try but haven't quite worked up the courage, this is your chance. No memorization or experience required. So now that you're interested, here's the important information. We're holding our Readers Workshop on Sunday, March 1st, 12:15 to 1:30 in the Skyline Room. Skit rehearsals will be held on Sundays, March 8th and 15th. Poetry and quarter readers will determine their own rehearsals. So join in the fun on Sunday, March 1st at our Readers Workshop at 12:15, right after mini meal, as we prepare for our Spring Equinox program.
You can't pass that one up, right? I'll let you know that there is a board Q&A in the Chalice Room starting at 12:15 today. Join some members of our board to ask questions or talk whatever's on your mind. Maybe share your visions for where we should be, what we should be doing. Next Sunday, March 1st, is another new member Sunday. If you're ready to become a member, please see me or Suzanne after the assembly. Next month will be our photography unit in Ethical Explorers, and Zola's going to be leading, as part of that, Zola's going to be leading a field trip to the Walker Art Center on the 8th of March. And if you are going to be involved in that, permission slips are required, and an additional adult chaperone is required for any children who are 8 years or younger. So check the most recent Friday update email to download and fill out a permission slip, and there are also hard copies in the front office. I always forget how to say this. Hygge night? Is that close enough? Hygge night. Is that close? Is happening this Wednesday, February 25th at 7 p.m. This is an evening hosted by our care team. It includes games and snacks and laughter yoga. There's a free community dinner at 5:45 if you'd like to eat together before Hygge night. And as you head into the mini meal in a few minutes, you can help pack snack bags for MCTC students. You can also get some information about Unistar, Camp Unistar for this coming summer. Today's mini meal, prepared by our food hospitality manager, Bill Magoo. I've been calling him Magoo, and now that's not right. It's Magoo. It's the U's I need. Anyway, it features an egg bake with sausage and polenta, an arugula couscous salad, honey soy glazed carrots, smoked drummies, granola, yogurt, veggies with hummus. It's not really a mini meal. There are vegan and vegetarian options, and as always, there's an invitation to contribute what you're able to make it available for everybody. If you're not here in person, I hope that the rest of the day offers you a bit of time for reflection, some warmth. We're glad you spent some time with us and hope to see you in person sometime soon. So now let's hold all of this in our hearts and minds. Remember to read your Friday update. Let's hear a little more music before we go. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. So let's wrap up our time together in this space by extinguishing our chalice, which again Mario is coming to do. Please join us in speaking, please join me in speaking the words on the screen. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All of these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again. Thank you, Mario. And as we go out, we go with these words from Don Cooley reminding us to bring life-giving songs to the world so that we may send our roots down into the earth and be strength for each other. Let us go out into the world singing songs that proclaim liberty, songs that turn ashes into garlands, songs that bind up the afflicted and those who mourn, songs that, like oaks, have roots that go deep and stand strong. Let us go out into the world singing. We know these songs. They vibrate through time in our very souls. They are the songs that give us life. They are the songs that give us meaning. They are the songs that give us purpose. And now it's our turn to take these life-giving songs out into the world. Let us go now, singing these songs with voices deep and strong. May it always be so. Ding.